My mother faked terminal cancer to break up my marriage. My husband Oliver and I had been married for 5 years when my mother called with devastating news about pancreatic cancer and 3 months to live. She sobbed through the phone that she needed me to come home alone to take care of her in her final days, begging me not to bring Oliver because she wanted to spend what little time she had left with just her baby. Oliver sat next to me on the couch while my mother talked, rubbing my back as tears streamed down my face. And even though she'd treated him like dirt our entire marriage, he whispered that we'd figure it out together. The next day, my mother showed up at our house in a wheelchair she'd rented, clutching a comically large stack of medical bills, telling our entire extended family about how her ungrateful child was choosing a spouse over their dying mother. My aunt started calling me heartless, my cousins posted passive-aggressive memes about family loyalty, and my mother ramped up the performance with prayer circles and meal trains and a whole Facebook group dedicated to her brave cancer journey that Oliver discovered he'd been specifically blocked from seeing. Oliver found inconsistencies everywhere, like the wrong hospital names on her paperwork and 0 insurance claims on her account that still showed me as an authorized user, but my mother just sobbed that he was trying to turn me against her in her darkest hour. She posted constantly about children who abandoned dying parents and recruited my grandmother to call me crying about how she couldn't believe she'd raised such a selfish grandchild, while my father's sister sent a $1,000 check for mother's medical bills that went straight into her regular checking account. I gave up my promotion at the marketing firm I'd worked at for 7 years and started packing up our apartment while Oliver begged me to investigate further, showing me how she'd accidentally posted a healthy cooking video dated 2 days after her diagnosis. But mother's guilt trips hit harder each day with texts like, "I might not make it to see you this weekend," and "The pain is getting worse, but at least I know my child chose their real family." She started sending photos of herself in hospital beds that Oliver reverse image searched to stock photo websites and voicemails where she coughed dramatically between every word like she was practicing for a play. When she claimed she was too weak to grocery shop anymore, posting a photo of an empty fridge with a caption, "When you're too sick to care for yourself and too proud to beg for help," I decided to surprise her with a full load of groceries and her favorite soup from the place downtown she'd loved since I was little. Her car wasn't in the driveway when I arrived at 11 on a Tuesday morning, and the house was completely dark with newspapers still on the porch from 3 days ago. The neighbor trimming his hedges mentioned he'd seen her leave an hour ago in sparkly workout clothes, which made 0 sense for someone supposedly bedbound. So I pulled out my phone to track hers through the family sharing app we'd set up years ago when she kept losing it. The location showed her at a fitness studio about 15 minutes away in the strip mall by the highway, which seemed weird. I parked nearby and glanced in the window, and the glass storefront revealed everything before I even walked in. My dying mother was suspended upside down on a pole in the middle of the room, her legs in a perfect split while she held herself with just her arms. She wasn't taking a class or doing some gentle rehabilitation exercise. She was at the front of the room teaching 12 other women how to execute the move, calling out, "Squeeze those thighs, ladies. This is where we separate the beginners from the pros," while wearing a hot pink sports bra that said "Head Instructor" across the front. Our eyes met in the mirror while she was mid-spin transitioning into something she called a butterfly hold, and she lost her grip completely, crashing onto the mat with a thud that made every student gasp. She scrambled up trying to explain it was physical therapy for chemo, but the giant schedule board behind her showed she taught 6 classes a week, including something called advanced inversions and pole competition prep. The other instructors rushed over asking if she was okay, calling her by name, while she stood there in her tiny outfit trying to convince me that terminal cancer patients need to maintain flexibility. She finally broke down in the parking lot, ugly crying while she admitted she'd never been sick. She just couldn't stand Oliver and thought if she was dying I'd finally choose her over him. She screamed that he wasn't good enough for her baby, that I'd thrown away my life for someone who'd never deserved me, and that she'd rather fake cancer than watch me stay married to him for one more day. I left her standing there in her pole outfit screaming at nobody, went home to Oliver who held me while I processed the absolute insanity of what just happened, and we blocked her number while eating the soup I'd bought for her supposed final days.